Good afternoon, it's Lana, and I'm live from my backyard where the sun is shining and the birds are quiet, but the squirrels are squeaking. So that little squirrel is making some noise behind me. It's sunny. This is the Sunshine State, and it's a gorgeous blue sky above me. I wanted to check in because often I have my moments because I'm human, and I wanted to share a little bit about myself. And I wanted to express that I have those days where I'm not always in that perfect space. I'm not always courageous, strong, as maybe sometimes I appear. I have my strengths and I have my weaknesses just like everyone else. And so there are times when I go into a little bit of a stress, a little bit of a depression. I may not reach out to anybody, but I need to go within and I need to process feelings and be by myself. Sometimes that's not so easy. It is a challenge because my mind can go into frustration and self-criticism. And as I said, I can often be considered spiritual. Oh, she's a yogi, so nothing bothers her, and she has no worries or concerns, and so she's living the gypsy life, and, you know, les enfers, and the life is beautiful, and it doesn't matter, and, it's not always like that. And I want you to know that to perceive someone in a certain way is to take away from the fact that we're all human and we still reach out for connection and love and support, security. We're still in this human form. None of that goes away until we transition over. So today I was just reflecting about how sometimes I have my challenges and I am probably the hardest on myself. Nobody could ever be as hard as I am on myself. Because in fact, when someone else points it out to me that I have a shortcoming or I'm aware of it, and while I'm aware of it, even better, it's like that double jam, that punch in the stomach even stronger because I already am hard on myself. And most often, and I know I'm not the only one, when you're hard on yourself and someone points that out or reminds you about your shortcomings that you're aware of, your ego mind wants to retaliate, wants to react. And a lot of times that's where passive aggressiveness comes in. People will defend themselves in a way that is to take away the attention from the situation. But again, we can only be compassionate and patient with ourselves as well as others. When we recognize this in ourselves, it makes it easier to recognize it in other people. And as well as being aware that our feelings, our emotions are constantly moving, and to honor them, that no matter what comes up, you're meant to process. If it comes up, it's because it needs to be attended to. Where attention goes, energy flows. And so sometimes we have to see it and allow it to process and move through. We don't have to hold on to it. But if it keeps coming up, it is something that needs to be healed. So over these years, it's been tough because mostly I came from being in the military and working a job and having a constant schedule. And yes, being a yogi, my schedule is a lot more flexible now. God, thank you so much. I am so grateful for that because truly it has allowed me to process when I needed to process as opposed to sticking to someone else's schedule. But at the same time, there's a part of me that misses the security and the structure that I would get from that environment because I knew I was always getting paid. Whereas now, money is something we need, right? So often we tend to think a spiritual person doesn't need to make money, or even if they do, they're giving more of themselves than they are actually receiving in return. And that's not the truth. I mean, truly, life is more than money, but there are these things that people can still get hung up on. And I admit, even for myself, I have to check myself and realize everything's going to work out. All those years, I was very hard on myself. And to be vulnerable and to look within myself, spending these years getting to know who I am and who influenced that, my childhood, my beliefs, my patterns, my behaviors, has humbled me like you have no idea. And I'm very appreciative of that, because without the awareness over these years, I couldn't grow and become more secure and courageous within myself to be comfortable with who I am. And not only that, but it's brought my family to me closer. And to me, that is the biggest gift. I love my family more than anything. Family matters most, truly. And, if you can't appreciate something, what is life is about? This life is about appreciating. And you can only be appreciative of something with gratitude, with humbleness, of recognizing the blessings in everything, the experiences that we get. They come to us because that's what our soul yearns for. It's what our soul reaches out for. Everything is perfect. Try not to judge it. Try not to label it. All that does is separates you from the experience of it. Our mind wants to put everything in a box, wants to make everything easy, because it wants to be right. It wants to be constantly in charge and control. But you can work with that mind. You can recognize, okay, there's the pattern. I see where that is. Okay, how's that serving me? If I were to say one thing, it would really be that we make life much harder than we need to. Life is not meant to be so difficult. And if we could just take a step back and to be compassionate, kind, and loving toward ourselves, life moves so much more fluidly, it's softer. As I say, soul flow. Your soul's going to guide you, whether you do it the hard way with resistance or you do it with grace and ease and allowing. In order to receive a gift, you have to be open to it. And to give is also to receive, as to receive is also to give. It's receptive, it's reciprocal. You can never give without receiving, and you can never receive without giving. So when someone gifts you something or does something for you, recognize that you're giving to them back an experience. We're all sharing these experiences. It's not us versus them. And we all want to be loved. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. I hope you're all doing well and allowing the flow of your soul and the blossoming of your heart. Please share with me if you have anything, and I will do another video soon. My love and lots of blessings. Be well in love and light.